Hi all, this is Tony, and I'm going to try to give you a demo of how to use the hedge fund trader indicator that I got from this webinar that was sponsored by Hubert Centers. It's not Hubert Centers indicator. He was running the webinar for somebody else who does indicators and all this other stuff, and I could get you that website. But anyway, the way I use it is for short term. I'll look at a 1 hour for trend, and then I'll look at the 5-minute for entries. Now you'll notice your buy signals is always the green dot, and your exits are your red dot if you're long, or you can actually always be in the market. You could actually short on the red dot and stay in it until you get a reversal signal. So anyway, that basically is how it works. So you wait for the signal to come. It gives you an audible alert, and then what you want to do is wait for that bar to close and wait for the second signal. Now I've sat and watched this thing. It does not repaint bars. So it's not going to take this bar and then move this bar up here because it changed the calculations from up here. It doesn't repaint. What it will do is it'll set a buy signal right here, but you want to wait the 5 minutes for this bar to close to make sure the signal is still valid. Then you could go in the second signal. I like Heikin-Ashi bars because it cleans them all up. If you want to see how it looks without Heikin-Ashi bars, that's fine. I mean, it still looks fine, but it's a lot smoother and it's a lot more defined with the Heikin-Ashi bars. And as we go through this, you'll see that. So this would be on a short term. Let's take a look at this on more of a longer term trade. I will have a daily, and then I will have a 30-minute. Or it could be a 15-minute, or it could be something else. But here, take a look at it over here. You notice on the daily, there's a little bit of chop going on, so you want to kind of look at the general direction of the market and see what Apple is doing in general. But if I want to trade this thing, look at this thing on a daily basis. As I spread this out, I mean, start Tuesday morning, you have your buy signal basically right here. You could wait as long as you want it, as long as you want to cross that moving average. But this is keeping you in this trade all the way until you get a sell signal here. Now, this is a 20 moving average. This is a 50 moving average. The 50 moving average, I am long above the 50 moving average, and I'm a little cautious below. And I look at other indicators here. I notice money flow is moving positive right here. So I wouldn't be afraid to take this trade because I see that money is flowing in. I don't necessarily need to wait for it to cross zero because, you know, all these things lag. So it doesn't hurt to get in. So I figured I'm not going to risk that much anyway. The way I use this is I will stay in this signal until I get 2 bars. If I get 2 bars of a different color, I'm out. So I use that as a stop. They were saying that you could use the red bar as a stop out. You could do whatever you want. I used the 20 moving average as an add. So in other words, it could either be a stop or an add. So as this pulls back, it could pull back to the 20, and I will add at the 20 once I see it bounce off it, because the 20 period moving average is like your regression line, and it tends to go right back to it. So this is Apple. Let's just look at some stocks here. I'm going to Gilead. Okay, we're looking at GILD. Gilead, here's the daily, and here's the 30-minute on Gilead. And we'll see that we have had, if you're trading this like a position trader, you'll see we had a signal fire off here. We do not have any, it's basically keeping you in the trade right now. My stop would have taken me out over here on a daily if I was trading this off a daily. But if I'm day trading this thing or position trading it or maybe doing a swing trade, I'm in right over here, basically on this bar right here when it crosses this moving average, and it keeps me in the trade all the way from 97 all the way up to about 103, 104. I would have exited on this second bar right here. Notice it hits the 20, it bounces, and you get another entry signal right here. You go in it on the second bar, and I would technically still be in this trade. Okay, he's starting to get it. Money flow is positive. I'm looking at my ADX for trend. Now let's take a look at this on a shorter time frame if I wanted to day trade it. Okay, we're looking at it now on a 1 hour and a 5 minute. Notice here is your entry signal. Here is an entry signal over here back around 10 o'clock on Gilead. You could have taken this trade right about here when it crossed the moving average, and you would have been up here. Second bar, the way I use it, is I'm out. Now here you get a short signal. So if you always want to be in the market, you can take shorts and longs and just play this thing up and down. But I would have waited again till I had my second long signal right here, cross the moving average, and away we go. I would have been out here for a small gain. Okay, so here is my longer term view, and here's the shorter term view. And that's how it works. Let's look at SPY. Here is the SPY. Now I'm looking at intraday, so if I wanted to trade this, guy today, look at it at 10 o'clock this morning. Here we were negative in the beginning, and then we caught a bid, and here was the buy signal, here's the entry, and we could have taken this to right here. Remember, I go out on the second reversal bar with Heiken Ashes. Okay, I could have waited until the system took me out when the short signal was triggered, and then we had a little bit of chop. If you would have taken this one right over here, you would have stopped yourself out, but you wouldn't have really lost anything. But your next signal came in right about here. Here's the signal bar, here's the entry bar through the moving average. Everything is pointing up, everything's positive here, and we're off to the races. And I would have gotten out right about here because I do the 2-bar reverse. But you'll see that these were all pretty much winning trades. The idea is to do this, and you're looking for a trend. A stock will trend once a day. Sometimes you'll get 2 trends a day. So if you get a good move at one part of the day, you probably should move on to another stock, because usually they don't have 2 good trends in them on a day, but everything changes. Let's take a look at this on a daily and on, again, the 30-minute. And this is a little bit of a longer term. Here's my daily, and you could see how the market has been a little bit erratic here. So you watch this. This is kind of like your general big picture, but way back over here, this was on last Friday. We had some good action in and out for a nice gain. And then Monday was a holiday. Tuesday, you had a short signal if you were so inclined, or you could have just stuck around and waited, because we never really did penetrate these moving averages. That's why they're there. Okay, now here is the signal. Here's your entry. Up we go. I would have been out on this second one. But yet, notice that was just me. The system did not take me out. The system was smart enough to know to stay in, because based on whatever algorithm it had, it would have kept you in the trade. Okay, kind of getting the idea. This works on everything. All time frames, I found it works pretty much on everything. This is LinkedIn, and here was a nice buy signal right over here. You get in over here, you would have stopped yourself out right over here, but you had another chance to get in if you so desired, and you see it would have been a little bit choppy in and out. But if you take these signals, and you don't do what I do, you're basically in here, you're still in this thing. So remember, this is my trading rules, my trading plan. Yours could be different. Now, this works on futures. Let me show you gold /GC. Okay, here's gold. Look at how nice and sweet it was to trade gold. On your daily chart, if you got in over here, look at this, no heat. You see this run from 1180 to 1300? That's several $1,000 move right there in gold. And on a lesser entry over here on gold, get in on this bar over here, you're in it all the way to here. You have another re-entry in it over here. You're out over here, and so on and so forth. So you're kind of seeing what I'm talking about here, how it works. And it just sets those bars, it sets those alerts, it makes an audible alert for you, and away you go. Here it is on an intraday. We noticed we had a little bit of a chop going on here. Don't know if this was tradable. You might have done 1 or 2. This one you would have made some money on. You wait. This one you might have made a little bit of money on. You have to gauge it. I mean, futures work a little bit different. So that's the, I'm going to go back to the SPY. And again, I'm going to give you a view why I use Heikin-Ashis. I go back to the candles, and you see it works, but I love the smoothness of the Heikin-Ashis. All right, I love the smoothness of the Heikin-Ashis. Now let me show you the product itself. When we go here and we go to the Smart Setups, and this is what you have: a swing, trend, and alerts on. I always keep my alerts on. You can't change the colors because they're already there, but you can change some of this stuff. But if you put on the swing, I'm going to show you what it looks like with the swing. You're going to recognize this right away. This basically is the PSAR, except it's built off of PSAR logic. It's not the exact PSAR, because if you know anything about PSAR, you know over here PSAR would have reversed. It would have done something here, but here it didn't reverse. It's keeping you in the trade. Okay, so while it's loosely built on PSAR, and you know PSAR is a pretty good indicator. A lot of people build systems right around that. With this one here, it basically has the whole thing for you. So you can use that as your stop. I chose to use the 20 period. They teach you in the webinar to use this as a stop and reverse, and you could certainly do that. It's basically whatever you want to do. The other thing I want to show you before I run out of time is I'm going to show you, if you're a longer term trader, there is a trend indicator on here. And you'll notice what the trend indicator does is it basically tells you what trend you are in. So if you're a long-term trader, you're basically in this trade as long as everything is green. I'm going to throw this up to a daily. And if you notice, that sound right there was a chart alert. We just had a buy signal alert on the daily SPY, and you'll see it right there. So you actually got to hear an alert go off, which I think is real cool. That's what it sounds like. So here you could see everything's on, and it's gotten real busy now. So let me take off the swing indicator because you saw that. Okay, so let's just leave the trend indicator on. I don't use it. This is basically saying we're short. This is saying we need to be long. And it's basically for long and short-term traders and people who kind of like set it and forget it and do other things. Okay, I don't use it, but it's there for you. So this is pretty much what it is. I'm going to show you one thing cool that I use with it. I do this. I have a 6-chart hedge fund trader, and look at what I do. So I take stocks that I know that are in play, and I set them all up and I run them. And if you could see, each one of them has its signals, it has this and that, and basically I could be doing something else with my computer, and I'll hear one of these trigger, and then I'll just go and move it on to one screen, and then I'll work it. I'll wait for the bar to close and then decide if I want to take an entry or not. So this gets you involved. You don't have to sit and look at one stock. You can have a bunch of them working for you, and it'll be firing off, especially if you're on a 5-minute time frame, it'll be firing these things off all day long. So you could change it to a 30-minute time frame if you want to trade a little bit differently. I've got about a minute left on this video before I'm going to run out of time. But and there you go. So now I'm looking at 30-minute time frames. And once a signal shoots off, now look at this. If you were trading this LinkedIn, you would have been in over here. You would still be in this trade. Now I wouldn't have, because I kind of have my own rule, but you would have still been in this trade all the way from 212 to 225. So this is a pretty cool system if you just put some rules around it and let it work and try it, and it's really cool. I really like it, especially with my little system that I built around it, and the Heikin-Ashi candles have made all the difference in the world. So if you have any questions, give me a shout, but this is what it is. Thanks a lot. Thanks for looking. Bye.